When we think of Alexander the Great, we imagine him as a bold king with a warrior's type physique. But do we really know what he looks like? There are different ways that kings and queens portray themselves to gain loyalty from their followers. One of those ways are artistic styles, by making portraits, by making statues in temples or anywhere really around the world. In this video, I'm going to break down how Alexander the Great portrayed himself through different artistic styles across his empire, and how those portraits and statues helped him gain loyalty from his followers and people across the world. Alexander adapted his image to reflect local cultures, but he still maintains his identity of a powerful divine ruler. The Bust of Alexander by Lysippus. Made in Greece, sculpted by Lysippus, Alexander's official sculptor, he depicts him as youthful, clean-shaven, and, tousled lion-like hair with an upward gaze, gives him a nice godlike type divine figure. It also attributes to the Greeks' culture of having the values of beauty and divine lineage. This portrait sets the standard look of what we think Alexander the Great might have looked like. Important to recognize that this portrait idolizes Alexander the Great to be godlike, and those reflect on Greek culture, Greek values of beauty and divine lineage. Which brings me to my next portrait, which represents local worship. Here's the statue of Alexander as a pharaoh in the Temple of Luxor. The origin of this piece is in Egypt, after Alexander the Great's conquest. The fact that the origin of this piece is in Egypt shows the wide range that Alexander the Great has been represented and how important his figure is in history. As seen in the portrait, Alexander the Great wears a headdress that typically represents royalty in Egyptian culture, while also appearing in traditional Egyptian royal pose and attire. This portrait presents Alexander as a legitimate pharaoh and the divine son of the Egyptian god Amun, which reinforces his acceptance as both a political and spiritual leader in Egyptian society. This portrait helps Alexander gain Egyptian support by respecting Egyptian religion and authority. The silver tetradrachm coin with Alexander in a Persian-style headdress, or with horns of some sort. These coins circulated widely, spreading his image across a culturally diverse population. The horns connect him to the Egyptian god Amun, while the style reflects Persian artistic influence. This also has a blend of Greek artistic styles with the same facial features from our first statue we viewed. Why is this important? This is important because he appeals not only to his Greek followers, but also to all the followers that he's conquered throughout his conquest. Whether it's the Persian Empire or the Egyptians, he still wants to keep them unified under his empire. This visual branding that he's doing with all his art pieces and statues and portraits allows different cultures to see Alexander the Great as the one true sacred leader. Each portrait's got its own vibe depending on where it's from. If it's in Greece, he looks like a perfect hero with smooth face, strong features, almost like the classic Greek statue look. But if it's in Egypt, he's dressed like a pharaoh with a whole traditional outfit of all religious symbols. And on the coins, he's got the horns of a god and a mix of Greek and Persian styles. It's kind of like a mashup that shows he knew how to speak to different cultures visually through art. Even with all those differences, there's always a pattern with this. He's young, powerful, and looks kind of like a god in every single version that any culture presents him. Alexander also didn't switch up his look for fun. He was smart. He adjusted how he appeared to fit in with each individual culture he ruled. but still made sure people knew exactly who was running the empire. Alexander the Great mastered propaganda through art by using portraits as a political weapon. Whether a portrait was made with gold or stone, Alexander's face was a symbol of a global empire. Alexander the Great may be a man, one man with many faces. Not most, but all of them represented him as a powerful ruler.